Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that when we examine the Star Wars franchise, by far what really holds the actual Star Wars movies together is, of course, the Skywalkers. There's no denying the fact that the Skywalkers really are the selling point of the Star Wars franchise. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the thing about Disney Star Wars is that it seems as though they wanted to completely abandon the idea that the Skywalkers per se, quote-unquote, in a literal sense, are not necessarily the selling point, right? This is one thing that really left a lot of fans very upset with The Last Jedi, of how they treated Luke, and with The Rise of Skywalker and how they completely ignored Anakin Skywalker's presence, or even, including more screen time for Luke Skywalker and Leia per se. Now, yes, I get it, Ben Solo is a Skywalker at heart, and I understand that. But at the boost of familiarity here, right, where a lot of fans are very familiar with characters like Luke, Anakin, Leia, and more, a lot of fans had wished to see more of that in the Star Wars universe. And with the very ending of the film and the meaning of the title, The Rise of Skywalker, really only being about Rey for the most part, other than the fact that, yes, Ben Solo climbs out of the pit, hence it's The Rise of Skywalker technically. So it's got two different meanings in there. But the Rey Skywalker concept is the big thing that really bothered a lot of fans out there. Now, what's really intriguing is, of course, all of the major retcons that are going to happen with the sequel trilogy as we know it, where now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are finished with the Skywalker saga, they are focused on their new Star Wars trilogy of films, as well as their new Star Wars universe. Now, currently the new Disney CEO, Bob Chapek, is developing many plans in order to reunite the fans around the world, where Chapek is said to be promoting many of the creatives over at Lucasfilm, like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, for example, to make key creative choices for the new Star Wars universe. However, it's noted that currently major retcons are coming our way by Disney in order to reset many aspects of the Star Wars franchise under Disney. Now, it's noted that creator George Lucas is going to make major and drastic adjustments to the concept of Rey Skywalker and exactly what makes her a Skywalker at the very end of the movie. Lucasfilm is actually said to have a key role, and George Lucas, of course, for the new Star Wars universe, to create a set of new Skywalkers that are connected to Rey, but also connected to Anakin and Luke, while also still maintaining that romance between Ben Solo and Rey. Now, it's noted that George wants to make Rey into a literal Skywalker in a way that would be done through the Force, and that a big part of this has to do with Ben Solo's involvement in the new Star Wars universe. It is said to be very possible that Ben Solo is a part of Rey's spirit, and that this is what makes Rey a Skywalker at the very end of the day. However, Lucas is working hard on a logical explanation that would make Rey a Skywalker to continue the bloodline, meanwhile keeping that relationship between both Ben and Rey in a very unique sense. There have been pitched ideas that Rey's children were conceived during Ben Solo's life force transfer, and that though this wouldn't necessarily make Rey a Skywalker per se, it would make her children attached to that bloodline, where George Lucas's reset of the Rey Skywalker's concept is actually said to go into effect sometime in 2021 next year for the Star Wars community to enjoy. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this seems like a big risk and something very confusing. The plan is to make Rey a literal Skywalker while also keeping that relationship, that connection between both Ben and Rey at heart, right? So how are they going to do this? How could they literally do this? Well, like I say, there have been conversations between, of course, all of the creators over at Lucasfilm on maybe perhaps the life force of Ben Solo could have very well been, become a part of Rey, and hence Ben Solo's spirit is now a part of Rey. They are one, essentially. I could see that as a logical explanation and something that would make more sense. It's very possible that maybe Rey would constantly, hear Ben Solo's voice inside her head, guiding her through the ways of the Force. That could very well be, Lucasfilm's new way of including Ben Solo's return into the Star Wars universe. That's just a possibility, though. They've been going over all these different ideas of how they could really do this. So this reset of George Lucas coming back, in the form of, really developing all these new elements of the Star Wars universe, I can really only imagine the risk of doing this. A lot of fans out there really don't like the Rey Skywalker thing, and I understand that, myself included. I don't like it. But the fact that she just called herself Rey Skywalker, I feel it could have been more in depth. It could have had more meaning to it. There could have been more explanation to it all as to why she would even call herself Rey Skywalker. I think if there was a bigger meaning behind all of it, it would have had a bigger impact on the fans. So like I say, if, for example, Ben Solo's spirit became a part of Rey and they became one, it would have kind of been like a reverse of what Palpatine hinted at with Rey, where he says, kill me and my spirit will become a part of you. You will be Empress, we will be one. It could have been like a reverse of that, where you have that similar situation with Ben and Rey. So with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No hiding from night to moon.